Okay, so let's get started. Click on your Premiere Pro app and open up the program. And you see that sometimes it takes a little bit of time. And once it opens up, you get this home screen in which you can either click on one of the projects you have already worked in. So open that one up again to continue working. But we're going to open up a new project and give it a name. Of course, you want to find a location where you can find your project back. So go on Browse and find for you the easiest way to store your projects. The rest you can ignore and just click OK. Now you get the whole Adobe Premiere Pro program open, and as you can see, you have assembly, editing, color, effects, all kind of different tabs. We start in the assembly tab to import our footage. It's a simple way of drag and drop. So find the folder that you want to import. I made a folder sample footage, drag and drop it in the program. When you double click on your folder, you have actually access to your individual clips. If in case your clips are not in order, you can always go down and click on that little icon, the little arrow down, and sort it out by name or by clip number. Double click on one of the clips, and you see in your source window on the right side that you have your original clip playing. Use the buttons at the bottom of the screen, or you can use the space bar of your keyboard to play your clip. Normally when we edit, we don't want to use the full clip on the timeline. So we want to cut off some bubbles and maybe some uninteresting movement. So we're going to kind of set in and out points, and it just means that we're going to indicate which part of the clip we want to use in our edits. So as you can see, I clicked on that little icon over there, meaning I set an in point. That's where I want my clip to start. And then after the most interesting part is done, I click on Mark Out, and I have a clip of about 12 seconds now that's been left over. As you can see, if you click on Play In to Out, you just see what you've chosen to show on the timeline. The timeline, there's no sequence yet because we haven't put anything down. As you can see, there's a drag video only, drag audio only. We're gonna drag the video down onto the timeline, and you'll see it will create automatically a timeline, a sequence with your dimensions. So if you filmed in HD, this will be an HD sequence. If you filmed in 4K, this will be a 4K sequence. So let's find another couple of clips. Just scroll through it, find some in and out points. Don't make them too short, don't make them too long. Depends a little bit on the music, what you want to use. Another out point. So now I've got a shorter clip, 1 of 4 seconds, put it down on the timeline. Another turtle. As you can see, I just played the end of the first clip just to see, and there is the turtle against the sun. One more clip, still in assembly, checking. The beginning bit is a bit boring because the sea bottom is a bit still too close, and here it becomes more interesting, so set an in point. Shortcuts are I and O for in and out. And drag and drop the clip next onto your timeline. And now I realized that I would like to show the last clip before the one against the sun. So with the selection tool, which you see highlighted on the left side, you can just pick up clips and move them around like a puzzle. Press the space bar to play your timeline. To stop the space bar, you stop your timeline or you pause. Here you go. So that's a better storyline, isn't it? So once we're done with our little scene, we actually want to find some music to add to our clip. So we go back to the first project tab and we're going to import some music. Best is to use royalty-free music, which you can find in YouTube, and I talk about that in the book a little bit later. So just drag and drop like you did with your footage. One is your footage folder, the other one is your sequence, and then next to it is your music. And you see you have audio 1, audio 2, audio 3. Just drag it onto the first line. By moving the little balls on the right side up and down, you can compress or decompress, so make it larger and see actually the music and see what you've been editing. So play, listen to the music, and then maybe adjust your footage a little bit so it matches the music. So, for example, the second clip doesn't match quite a beat of the music. So just listen and see all these little peak wave files. Those are the ones where the music beat changes. So you can just stop your edit line to one of the beats and then pick up your clip and move it to that exact point. Now this one is a little bit later, so I'm extending with the selection tool my out point. So I make the clip slightly longer to just make it all fit to the music. The snap tool, if you put that one in place, then it's the easiest way to put your clips next to each other and in the right position. So always make sure that that one is highlighted. The razor tool, or a shortcut, is C. When your music is too long and you want to cut it, use the razor tool for that. Just cut your music at a point you think is appropriate. Go back to the selection tool, delete the rest of the music that you don't need. And then when you listen to it, you hear it's kind of like a hard ending. So we want to fade that one out. So to do that, highlight your music, make it that little bit bigger so you can easily access it. And we're gonna go to effects. On the right side, you see audio transitions, crossfade, and then constant power. Just pick it up and put it all the way on the end of your music. Now with the selection tool, you can just extend the crossfade so it goes down even slower. Now with your footage, if you want it to end at the same time of the music, extend the out point with the selection tool. And also here you can put a fade out in. So a fade to black, for example, in video transitions, cross dissolve, drop it at the end of the clip, and here it works the same. You can extend the cross dissolve by just using your selection tool. And now it fades slowly to black as the music fades as well. So here you got your little clip. Next step, color correction. So a very easy way to do it. The people who know how to edit in Lightroom, they are going to recognize this. So it works a little bit the same. There's a way of readjusting your white balance. So the temperature makes it colder or warmer, and the tint will make it more red and less red, obviously more green. You have exposure, contrast, a lot of different things. To just check how things would look, you can always use the auto tool and readjust a little bit to your liking, because the auto tool will never get it 100% how you like it. Try play with your other clips as well. So just change, see what auto does, change a little bit the tint. As you can see, you can play around with things quite a lot. There's no harm in testing out what it can do, but just dragging everything to the extremes and see what it does. When underwater, we lose a lot of the blacks, the true blacks, so nice to put those back in. And just see what it does and what you like. The last one doesn't need a lot of changes because it's already a silhouette shot. Well, here we go. If your computer has a hard time playing your clips because maybe you filmed in 4K and it's a bit heavy, you can always go to sequence, render into out, means you're applying the color changes that you made to your clips, and you see that the yellow bar above your clips turns green. It just means that it applied the changes, like in Photoshop, merging layers, and your computer will not have a hard time playing that. You can always change everything after that, so it doesn't do anything to your editing. All right, back to title, file, new legacy title. You don't have to give it a name because there will probably only be one or two. You see, you can extend your boxes by just dragging them left and right, and then you see the typing tool on the left top is already activated, the T. So if you just click anywhere on your screen and start typing, you'll get a title. Obviously, you can change the font family, you can change the size. Like here, I increase the size, and then I go to font family, and if you just click on it and you scroll through all the different ones, you can just choose what you like the best and play around with that one. Okay, so I chose this one, made it a little bit bigger. Go to the arrow so you can place it where you want it to be. Now, see, if you put it at the bottom, I can see that you can't read it that much, so I keep it in the blue. Then I still think it's a little bit too big, so you can compress it a little bit, but just moving the corners, place it in the right spot, and then when you close your legacy title, you actually save it already. To find it back, go in assembly, and then in your project window, you'll see title 1. Now drag and drop it on video 2 above your video. Now obviously you have to choose how long you want it to be. Make it long enough so people can read it. And then choose whether you want to keep it a hard cut, meaning no fade out to black, or if you want to go to effects and add that cross dissolve that you added to your video clip before, also onto your title. Now when you play it, you see it's gonna fade out. There you go. Little movie done. You see that the project is saving automatically. I set that in, on a PC, it's in Edit, Preferences, and then go to Autosave. And I set it to every 3 minutes, and I have 100 versions, and then it overwrites. Better if you save it yourself, just using Ctrl S, or on a Mac Command S, but it's a good way to back up your things.